Today we're going to be talking about my wartime challenge for 2026 and my Digging for Victory garden and my plans for me and my husband living on war rations and cooking wartime recipes so I can save money and live frugally on a budget for the rest of this year. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned and I'll fill you in on all the plans, all the details of how it's going to work and what's coming up. Hi everyone, welcome back to WWII Cottage and welcome back to Wales. It's lovely to have you here. Hope you're all doing well and I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and a wonderful new year. Seems to have gone very quickly since I last saw you. It's over a month ago now since I last saw you. I had a good break, I had a lovely Christmas and time just really got away from me. I really did want to come back and see you before Christmas, but time just didn't allow. I've been very busy decorating the house. I've got a video coming up in next few weeks, I think, on how I've been keeping the house warm through the winter. I'm saying a lot today, aren't I? I've been redecorating the sitting room, the whole stairs and landing, and finishing off the kitchen as well. So I've got quite a few things to show you there, but that's not what's coming up today. Today we are looking at 2026 and my plans for the year ahead. Last year, as you know, I was trying to do a wartime challenge, but my health just didn't allow me to continue with it and it fell by the wayside. I was using wartime recipes, and a lot of you were really interested in those wartime recipes and living on war rations. So that's going to be what my challenge is going to be going forward in 2026. I want to up my game on being frugal and reduce my food budget because my food budget has gone up astronomically in the last 12 months, as a lot of you have probably experienced yourselves when going to the supermarket. Um, my food budget now has gone up to about £120 a week for two people. And that is if we buy good quality food and I make a lot of it from scratch. So it's not even being wasteful by buying processed foods or luxury items. That is just basically buying flour and yeast, milk, vegetables, fruit, a little bit of meat because my husband likes meat, and I now and again do like a bit of meat. I'm not completely vegetarian. I have pepperoni on a Friday, chicken now and again, fish now and again, bacon because I felt like I've needed protein with the weather being so cold. So, yeah, I'm not 100% vegetarian, but going forward with my wartime challenge, I do want to live more in tune with the war rations to try and bring my food budget down because this cost of living thing at the moment is just driving my budget completely through the roof. And it's just unsustainable, completely unsustainable, because my husband is self employed and we have to rely on other people employing him as a decorator. And that is how we make our money. And I don't want to have to rely on other people being able to pay him and for us to be able to eat. So, this wartime challenge actually fits in quite nicely. The year I've chosen is 1943, and there were about 50,000 registered vegetarians here in the UK during the war. And they had to register with a shop or a greengrocer or a butcher's, a fishmonger's, wherever they wanted to buy their food locally. You had to go along with your ration book and you had to register with those people to be able to get your food from them. Now, I naively thought that food rations were free. And I did a lot of research on the internet. I've been using an AI tool called ChatGPT, and I know there's a lot of controversy about AI out there, but I've actually found it very, very interesting to get my information for my challenge. So I'm not going to write off AI. I'm not going to say it should replace humans, but that is a completely other video, and that's not what you're here for. So going forward, I'm going to be shopping every 2 weeks. I'm going to try and keep my food budget down to £40 for 2 weeks. And now and again, it'll go to 50 when I have to buy things like sausages and a little bit of meat for my husband. I am going to be making my butter myself and my bread myself. Now, I know that during the war, cream was extremely expensive. It was highly prized, and it was about thinking how much things were back then. It was £6 or £7 for a pint of cream. Now, I don't think a lot of people would have afforded that, and that is if it was available, because milk was really the main thing that they were using back then, not cream. And it mainly went to places like the military and things like that first before it got even into the public domain. So unless you knew a farmer and unless you had your own cow, cream was actually very hard to come by. But as you know, I've got a very serious allergy to seed oils and to rapeseed oil. And I'm not going to endanger my life to be completely authentic to this. This is just a challenge. It's not, I want to live in the 1940s. So I am going to buy cream and I am going to make my own bread, but I am going to try and live within the budget of the 1940s kitchen, which was roughly around 38 to £40 for 2 weeks worth of food. So that's really where my challenge is, to get my food budget right the way down, using war rations, using wartime recipes, doing a lot of my cooking in my kitchen as a wartime kitchen would have done. Grow as much food as I can outside. As you know, I have a polytunnel, to any of you who've been here for a while. I have chickens, I have 3 hens. I have a lot of fruit trees in my garden, and I also have a new patch of garden that's been waiting to be dug and turned into a digging for victory garden. So I think I'm all set, ready for my challenge. I did go shopping yesterday and I bought a load of food to go in with my challenge. But my main goal really is I want to save some money. Really, we're both Christians, and my husband serves in the local church voluntary. And we try to do as much as we can, as frugally as we can, so we can live here and serve in the church where we're really pastors in the church. And it does take a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of what I would say magician handling to be able to live here and do the thing that we do. And for me to stay at home, because we do live on one wage. There is just the two of us, and you say, well, that doesn't seem like a lot. Well, it is when you're self-employed and you're relying on other people to pay you for work. Living on that kind of money is difficult in this day and age. So I am also going to be continuing with my handicraft, but I just haven't had the time or the brain space with everything that's been going on to get back into my crafts yet. But I will be getting back into them. I have started spinning again and I have started knitting again. And I want to get back into that theme again as well of make, do, and mend. Last year, I spent far too much money and far too much money on Temu, unfortunately. I fell into that black hole of buying things on Temu. And while, yes, I paid cash, I just, confession time, I wasted too much money. And to be true to myself, there's more things I want to do with my money than give it to Temu. So this challenge really is to help me get back on track with our finances, learn to be a good steward of what God has given into my hands. Um, Financially. My husband works very hard for that money, and it's not fair for me to waste it. Um, and I'm getting a bit emotional now, to waste it on things that are just frivolous. So that really is the reason for this challenge. So I will be doing another video. I'm talking to you about my shopping list and talking to you about meals that I can make from that shopping list. And I will be making a PDF available as well in the links below, but not in this video, of a shopping list in case you want to stick to the challenge with me and try and get your food budget down. I'm also going to be producing a recipe book um, with my favourite wartime meals to go with that shopping list. Things that I use all the time that we really enjoy in this house. I'm going to be making a PDF. It will be a paid for PDF, but it's only going to be pennies. It's not going to be a lot of money, just enough just to pay me for my time for producing it, basically. But the shopping list will be free for you as well. I'm also going to give you a printable version of my bread recipe as well, and my butter recipe. So they're just going to be three things that are coming up for free. I'm also hoping as well to start a Patreon account if you're interested in following me on Patreon. I do Ko-fi. But I've been locked out of Ko-fi. I can't get back in. I've no idea why. So to any of you who like to give to me through Ko-fi, I think I'm going to have to start a new page. So hold back on giving to me at the moment. And I will set up a new Ko-fi page and pop the link in the description bar for you. You've all been so wonderful in supporting me on there. And as you know, the money's gone into the garden and has been spent on the garden. Some of it went on a new laptop back in 2024. But last year it went into the garden to buy plants. And the lovely Maria has been wonderful buying me plants for my garden. So thank you, Maria. Yeah, so getting back to my wartime challenge, I've also got a video coming up as well, talking to you about the books that I'm going to be using through 2026 for this wartime challenge. I've got some favourite wartime cookbooks. I've got the Eating for Victory. I've got the We'll Eat Again. I've got the post-war book by Marguerite Patton. I've got two books by Marguerite Patton. And what was the other one? Oh, it's the Dairy Cookbook, which isn't a wartime cookbook, which I think it's from the 1970s. And some gardening books to show you as well. Some Digging for Victory garden books. So how to produce a kitchen garden during wartime. So that's going to be coming up in another video as well. That's quite a detailed video because I think it's important to get the information to you if you want to do this challenge with me, because it's going to be so much fun. You know, I've had so much fun using those recipe books and learning about how they made food during the war, how a kitchen functioned during the war. I've also treated myself to an original copy of Mrs. Beeton as well. That was my Christmas present to me. So that is coming up in that book video as well. So there's plenty to come on this channel. 2026, I'm hoping, is going to be an exciting year because last year was so stop-start. I was completely fed up last year and I just gave up the plot, I think, halfway through the year and just didn't come back for a while. But I'm hoping 2026 is going to be full of more promise. So getting back to my challenge, yeah, we're going to be using wartime cookbooks, wartime recipes, wartime kitchen garden, growing food that we can use in our recipes that we're going to be making together. Most of it's going to be done on this wood cook stove. I am going to do a video as well about this because somebody has asked me to do a review of what I think of this pretty stove. It's a pretty 2P41 for any of you who are interested, and it's fantastic. I love it. But I am going to do a video about it as well. There are some videos about this stove already on YouTube, so I'll pop them in the I button for you, so you can have a look at what I thought when I first bought it and how I cook on it. So yeah, next video, I'll do the shopping list, I'll do the PDFs for you, and I will do my recipe reviews of what we're going to make. So that'll be in the next video. And then the one after that will be the book reviews. So there's plenty to come, plenty to come, plenty to do, plenty to get on with. We are going to be doing Make Do Amend. I've been loving my apron that I made out of an old dress. I never have this off. This is my daily apron. I put this on and I know I'm going to work. It's kind of like my thing that says, you're at work now, you've got your apron on, let's get stuck in. So I've been cold, so I've been wearing my headscarf a lot because I've been cold. I've also cut my hair, so I've not got as much hair. Stupid time to cut your hair really in the winter, isn't it? Take off most of the length. But just a sec. I thought I saw someone. You'll have to excuse the light today, by the way, because we're expecting Storm Gertie or Gordy or something stupid like that. Anyway, and they say we're going to get a snow dump. We're going to have a snow bomb, apparently. We're under an amber warning for snow. And they're calling it a cyclo episode or something. And we're going to have a snow bomb. So we shall see. We shall see. We did have snow the other day, and yeah, that's really amused me. That when I was younger, it was just it snowed. Now they call it a snow bomb. Sorry. It's been a while. It has been a while. I'm trying to be professional. It's just not working, is it? So yeah, I'm changing my intros, by the way, where you get me at the beginning and then the intro music, because apparently, according to ChatGPT, the first 30 words are what YouTube uses for my search. So when people search on the internet for stuff, what I say in the first 30 words is what then YouTube pushes for people in search. So when you're searching for someone, whatever they've said in the first 30 words is what YouTube pushes on the internet. So when I waffle on and say, welcome back to Wildwood Cottage and welcome back to Wales, it's lovely to have you. I hope you're doing well. There's absolutely nothing in that YouTube can use to post me on the internet. So that's why my channel's not doing as well as I would like, because I look at channels and I think, why have you got like 25,000 subscribers and you only started a year ago and I'm struggling on 1,500? So I'm very grateful for you all. I'm not complaining. Anyway, getting back to my video. I'm going to be posting a lot more frequently as well than what I did do last year. And I'm hoping at some point to get up to 2 videos a week for you, but we'll have to see. So there's definitely videos coming right the way through January that I'm already recording now for you. So they're definitely coming up. And we'll get stuck into this wartime challenge together. So my food budget is going to be £40 a week to £50, £40 a fortnight to £50 a fortnight, which is every 2 weeks. So that's roughly £25 a week, £20 a week, give or take. And that's me living on vegetarian food and being able to buy sausages for my husband and pepperoni for pizza on a Friday. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I did really well yesterday. So yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll put that shopping video up on a separate video on the next video for you. And you can have a look at that, because this one's now 18 minutes long. Oops. So yeah, my budget's going to be £25, 20 to £25 a week. And I'm going to go shopping every 2 weeks instead of every week. So we'll have a look at the prices together and we'll see how, because during the rationing time, things were either available or not available. Things went up in price, went down in price. You had your point system where you still had to pay, but you gave your points in, and that was your allocation of what you could have, the amount you could have for that allocation of points. I will do another video about all this, by the way, as we go forward, so you can understand how things work, because I'm only just sort of gathering it together in my head. But from what I could understand, you had points, and say you wanted to buy, I don't know, a pound of oats, you could use 2 points off your 24 points that you were allocated a month to buy that £2 of oats, but you gave them cash. But that just meant that that was your allocation of oats for that 2 points. If you wanted to buy a small tin of salmon, it was 32 points, and there wasn't enough in your points card. So you'd have to combine it with somebody else's points, like your husband or whatever, to be able to buy that small tin of red salmon. My nan always had red salmon in the house, and I think that was just yours from the war, really, that said, I'm going to eat salmon as often as I want because I couldn't afford it during the war. So yeah, it basically worked on a point system. You could buy more sugar with points. You could buy dried fruit with points. So even though you had to buy it, you still needed to use your points. So you didn't keep going back to the shop to buy more. If you had 2 points, you could buy it. If you didn't have 2 points, you couldn't buy it. The point system also worked on clothes as well. So I'm going to try and follow the point system as well to keep my budget down, because I do think it'll work. So if I want to buy like a packet of sultanas, I think that was 2 points for 500 grams. So they're £1.09 in the shops. There's 2 points gone out of my month's allocation. So working like that, I think it'll keep my budget down. Instead of going to the super, I'll buy 5 of them today. You don't need 5. Why are you buying them? I do like to keep a good pantry, but I want that to go up out of the garden produce and my shopping to go down. So say yesterday I bought carrots, I bought a swede, I bought apples, I bought cabbage. Those things I can grow in the garden. So those things, that's four things less off my shopping bill. That then that money that bought those four things. Oh, parsnips was the other thing. Sorry, not cabbage. Those four things then I can grow myself, and that money then can be allocated to buying, I don't know, sausages or something like that. So I think the points system, there's a blackbird outside, the point system will kind of balance out the rations, the war rations as well, and the wartime point system will kind of balance itself out. That means I can get the things that I need, but I'm just going to have to be more strict and more rigid with myself on how much I buy. In my savings challenge, I am allocating myself £10. I think it's £10 a month, or it's £10 a week or a month, something like that. And that's going to be for store cupboard pantry foods, for the garage outside, because I don't want to neglect keeping a store cupboard. But that store cupboard in time, I want to be overtaken with garden produce, if you see what I mean. So I'm not buying as much. So when I'm getting my garden growing, I've got to keep that in mind. How much do I want to preserve to be able to compensate my war ration and my wartime shopping, so that I can then grow more and more food? Because that's what was encouraged during the war, was that more people grew their own food, so that they could have more variety in their diet. Morale would be higher. And that was the whole reason for the Digging for Victory campaign as well, to provide more food and more variety, because there's such a lot that can be grown here in the UK. That being frugal here actually can be quite easy if you have something to grow in. So that's why allotments are handy these days. And that's where that came from the First World War, or even earlier, I think. Because the allotment site I used to be on, have been there since before the 19, I think it was 1910. The dairy, it used to be a dairy farm, and it was given into local hands to be allotments, and is still in covenant for allotments. So that's where a lot of these things came from. The further back you look, it all came out of wartime, or the Depression, or the Second World War, or even earlier, the Boer War, I think, was where allotments first started. So yeah, it's definitely a good wartime strategy. So going forward, I'm going to try and get a greenhouse put back up as well for starting seeds, because I want as much undercover seed growing as I can. I'm also going to build that WWII greenhouse, which is a greenhouse set in soil for starting more seeds. And I've got my polytunnel to grow in year round through the winter. So I'm going to be using my window ledge here behind me to start seeds in January. And I'm going to be growing greens and potatoes and carrots and beetroot. I'm starting a load of stuff off early. Leeks, I'm going to be growing onions from seed. So yeah, there is definitely plenty to come on my channel, and I'm really, really looking forward to doing it. Now, if you're wanting me to be true to the letter of the war, you're in the wrong place, because that's not what this challenge is about. I want to use the strategies of the war, the strategies of rationing, the strategies of growing and digging for victory, the strategies of the wartime cooking, and have better health, better finances, keep my budget down, keep out of debt, um, and not have to have a no buy year, because that is another part of this challenge, is I'm entering into a no buy, low buy year. So I am allocating a budget for plants, but I'm only going to do that if it's absolutely necessary. My budget for plants is £30 a month. Now that's drastically reduced from what it would be normally. And I'm going to keep it for seeds and keep it for plug plants and things like that. I want to buy some asparagus and get that in the garden. I did buy some a long time ago, but it just never got in the garden. And then the rats ate the plants. So it was just a non-starter, and they were brilliant as well. I did get a couple of spears off them, but I think I've only got one or two of those plants left. So I want to buy some more of that. And I want to buy some more horseradish, because I love horseradish, and I want to make horseradish sauce. And I also want to try and get some buckthorn as well for around the perimeter of the fence. One, to keep the cows away, and two, because I want the sloes for my gin, because I do like a nice glass of sloe gin, and it's about £17.50, I think, in Morris. Where did my brother get it? Marks and Spencer's. So yeah, it's quite expensive, and I could make my own and buy a cheaper gin and make a load of it. So yeah. Um, they're just a few of the things. But my plan is I'm not going to buy any clothes. I'm not going to go to the charity shop. I'm going to avoid the charity shop for the next year, because I've noticed the quality of the stuff has gone downhill a lot. The quality of the clothes has gone down a lot. You very rarely find Marks and Spencers or any designer names anymore. I think the last thing I found was about 12 months ago, and it was Cath Kidston. But the quality has gone right down, and I'm finding it just doesn't last as long as what it used to either, unless you buy vintage, which is junk sold anyway, and you don't expect it to last that long. So part of my Make Do Amend challenge is I'm going to make my own wardrobe and make my own clothes. So that'll probably follow over onto my handcraft channel as well, but I will be doing that here throughout the year, not in January. But I am going to make some skirts in January, so I might show you them when I've made them. I'm very waffly today, aren't I? Sorry. You can tell I've not done it for a while. So yeah, I've just got so much I want to share with you, so much I want to tell you, because I'm so excited about it all. I'm so excited about being able to save. My target is 9,000 for this year to save. So yeah, we'll have to see. I've got this thing in mind that I'd like to save £50,000 in the next 5 years. Now, I know that is a way out there sum, but I think if I start selling online, do more with YouTube, save, maybe get a bit of money out of my garden, selling plants and things. I think it's doable. I do think it's doable. Selling my handcrafts, make some rugs, get them on the internet, make some table runners, scarves. Yeah, I think it is doable in the next 5 years. I mean, it's only £10,000 a year, isn't it? So even a part-time wage, put that away in the bank. You've got yourself a load of money, haven't you? So that's my thoughts. Anyway, that's my thoughts for today. I've waffled on for nearly half an hour, sorry. But I haven't seen you for a while, have I? And I wanted to share with you my plans and my thoughts for 2026. So we're going to be doing a no spend, no buy, low buy year when it comes to food and bills and things like that. No spend when it comes to clothes, definitely. No spend when it comes to charity shops, no op shops, whatever you call them, wherever you are. We call them charity shops here. Don't know what you call them in America, can't remember. They're not charity shops. They're not op shops. Can't remember. Can't remember. Anyway, I've got enough rubbish in my garage. I don't need to buy any more stuff. I want to sell it, to be honest with you, to get rid of it. No buying any craft equipment. I have a room full of weaving looms and the front room full of spinning wheels. I don't need any more. I really don't need any more. And no more books. I have enough books, unless it's absolutely necessary. Unless it's a book that I really have to go with my challenge and I can't live without. So there'll be no books either. So yeah, it's been a very quiet year so far with my no spend, because not spent anything. I've not spent anything. I bought one Christmas present and some birthday cards for people for their birthdays for the rest of the year. So I don't have to think about that now, because they're all in a box in the front room and everyone's getting a birthday card this year. I did try to get Christmas cards, but they'd all gone by the time I got there. So I missed the boat on that one. And I'm going to try making more presents for people instead of going out and buying stuff, unless I buy local off somebody local. But Temu is getting given the boot. Everything I've been buying off them has been going back because it's a load of rubbish, absolute rubbish. Don't bother. Absolutely don't bother. When they first started out, the quality of the stuff was great. But I've noticed since, I would say since summer last year, I've been sending loads of stuff back. I've sent over £100 worth of stuff back yesterday because it was rubbish. It was stuff I bought for Christmas presents. I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to bother giving it to you because it's rubbish. So yeah, there was a dress, a waistcoat. I thought, oh, that's really nice. Gone back. So there's still stuff outstanding from before Christmas. So when that comes, I'm not even going to bother keeping it. I'm just going to send it back. Return to sender because it's rubbish. So yeah, that is my no buy, no spend challenge. My living for victory challenge, living on war rations and cooking everything from scratch. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, do keep up to date with my channel here on YouTube. I'm going to go before I waffle myself into oblivion because I feel very waffly. So I'm going to go. Look out for my next video. It's going to be my shopping list and what I've bought from the supermarket with my shopping list. And I'll talk to you about some of the things I'm going to be making from that list as well. So that's coming up in the next video. And there's another couple of videos coming up as well. As I've said, one about my pretty stove behind me and how I'm heating my home this winter. And yeah, the books one as well. There's a book one coming as well before the end of the year. So yeah, I'm sorry this has been a bit of a long one. It's good to catch up with you all. I hope you are all well. I'm sending my love to you from what is hopefully not going to be a very snowy Wales. And I will see you in the next video. So take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye bye.